Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Y'all, I'll have to confess again. I hope Jazz not on here because as I was getting myself ready this morning, I definitely peeked into court today. Child, I cannot wait to get to day 8. I cannot wait to get to day 8. But good morning, everybody. Good morning, Summer. Hey, Mika. Oh, Lord, there go Jazz. Hey, Destiny. Hey, Shay. Hey, Ken. Hey, Summer. Hey, Alice. Hey, well, I see Ken on there already. Hey, Ebony. So, y'all, I was watching, and baby, I just for the life of me can't understand why these boys put so much. Hey, Missy, why did they put so much online, y'all? Well, I mean, oh, God. It's not enough that we have all of the video surveillance, right? We have all of that. We can connect you guys. This whole thing about these boys not really knowing each other, I'm looking at the social media post right now. You see Sean talking to Ghost. You see Ghost searching up Zay. You see Isaiah. Isaiah talking about he knows confirmed kills. I said, oh, baby, it's over. Oh, it is over. I snuck in to day 8, right? I mean on day 8. But when I tell you this is over, so I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm just rewatching the rest of day 7. Good morning, Blue Skies. Hey T. I was really going to I just can't skip it, y'all, because I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on. And I can't wait. Day 8, Detective Ramos is back on the stand, and they're looking like they're going to get into their Instagrams, their text messages. Baby, it's over. It's over. If these young men get off, it's definitely it's got to be a technicality because it's over, in my opinion. I mean, Zay on your Instagram, like Zay, do you not understand that the police, all of these little boys should know the police are watching them? If you are associated with anything, especially in Jacksonville, you are being monitored at all times. You should always move that way. Zay's rant, trying to act like I'm this, I'm that. Hey Jazz, I'm this, I'm that. You know, I'm the big bad wolf. Baby, why would you do that? But okay, y'all, let's go. We're gonna finish. And again, y'all, they're on day 8. Aaron says that the state may rest today. If the state rests today, then of course, you know, the defense will start their case afterwards.
Homicide of Charles Jones that occurred in Tampa, Florida.
No.
Were you asked to assist with showing what is called a photo pack or photo array to a witness in this particular case?
Yes.
I want to ask you a little bit about photo packs. Is there a policy and procedure how photo packs are administered or shown to potential witnesses in a case?
Yes.
Is there a policy in the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and how those are to be conducted?
Yes.
Obviously, you knew that this was a Tampa Police Department investigation.
Right.
Were you provided with the forms that Tampa Police Department utilizes when they show photo pack identifications?
I was.
And are you familiar of what is contained in a photo pack array?
Yeah, there's the instructions that are given to the witness. There's also 6 photos, 5 of those being filler photos.
And so when you say filler photos, those are the potential people in the photo array that are not the suspect. Is that correct?
Correct. There's always 5 filler photos and one's for the potential suspect or subject investigating.
And that is to give the witness an opportunity to look at numerous subjects. Is that correct?
Right.
And the goal being to point out the actual suspect if they know it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And when photo arrays are put together, are they put together so that the suspect and the filler photos are of the same ethnic background?
Right. Typically, we try to pick out somebody with the same ethnicity, someone with the same complexion, same hairstyles and beard. Sometimes some people will have face tattoos, and we have to cover those up as well. And we'll do that with all 6 photos.
Why is that done?
Why is what done?
That individuals of similar appearance, ethnic background, and hairstyle are put into the photo array.
For the integrity of picking out the right person.
For instance, if the suspect was an African-American person, if you put 5 filler photos of white people, would that make the suspect stand out?
Yeah, absolutely.
And is that what would be known as a highly suggestive photo array?
Absolutely.
And there are procedures and policies in place that law enforcement is not allowed to do that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You yourself did not put together the photo arrays that were used on August 12th of 2025 to be shown to Rashad Murphy. Is that correct?
I did not make up the photo array.
Were you considered what is called an independent administrator of the photo pack?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what an independent administrator is?
It's someone that's not involved in the case. I had general knowledge of the case just working in the gang unit. I wasn't in the gang unit when this incident occurred. I had general knowledge, but I didn't have every detail of it. So I was considered an independent administrator.
And you yourself did not put the photo packs together, is that correct?
I did not.
When you were administrating the person showing the witness, did you know who the suspect is in the photo pack that you were showing?
I didn't know what the photo lineup looked like until I opened it up. I was told it was in reference to a homicide in Tampa, but I did not know who was in the photos.
And you did not know which one was the target suspect in each photo pack, is that correct?
No, not when I opened it.
Were you showing two separate photo packs to Robert Howard?
Yes, two separate at two different times.
And were you called to show it by Detective Christopher Drabeck, also with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Where did the photo lineup take place?
It took place in a neighboring county, Bradford County detention facility. Jacksonville doesn't have a federal housing facility, so the neighboring county was Bradford. It's about 45 minutes outside of Jacksonville is where we traveled to.
That's a detention facility where where Robert Howard was housed, is that correct?
Right, that's correct.
And so you went to the location where he was incarcerated?
Yes.
Who was present at the time when the photo array was shown to Robert Howard?
Myself and Detective Drabeck, as well as Robert Howard.
But you were the one that was administering it, is that correct?
That's correct.
Detective Drabeck present because he was assigned as the assist for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office in investigating the homicide that occurred in Tampa, Florida. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd introduce into evidence States Exhibit 107.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Sonardi?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petridis? Admitted.
Detective Jones, I'm going to go through each page of 107, and we're going to start at the top. You said that you yourself were provided with the Tampa Police Department form for the photo array lineup. Is that correct?
Right.
And when you met with Mr. Howard, did you go over all of the instructions that are contained on this form before having him look at the sequential photos?
Yes, I read it verbatim because the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has a similar photo lineup instructions. However, I was not familiar with this. Is the first time I'd seen this, so I read it verbatim.
And is there a place for you to put the witness's name and date and time when this is being shown?
It looks like the witness's name was already printed, but that is my handwriting of the date, time, and the ID.
And these instructions and the photo pack were provided to you by Detective Drabeck, already compiled. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so you said, what is the date and time when you were meeting with Robert Howard to show him this sequential photo array?
8/12, which is August 12th of 2025. The time was 10:11 a.m.
And you said you read these instructions verbatim to him prior to showing him the actual photo array. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you read to the jury what exactly you read to Robert Howard?
Yes. Read to the witness before the photo display and have the witness then read an initial below. You want me to read everything?
Yes.
Okay. You will be asked to view a series of photos of individuals. It is just as important to clear innocent persons from suspicion as to identify guilty parties. The person of interest may or may not be in this photo array, and the photos are not in any particular order. In parentheses, it says optional. Individuals presented in the series may not appear exactly as they did on the date of the incident because features such as head and facial hair are subject to change. You should not feel like you have to make an identification. If you do identify someone, I will have you designate the photograph of the person you have identified. Regardless of whether you make an identification, we will continue to investigate the incident. The photos will be shown to you one at a time and are not in any particular order. I do not know the order of the photos. There are some blank photos in the series. This is part of the normal process. Take as much time as you need to examine each photo. If you make an identification, I will continue to show you the remaining photos in the series. Since this is an ongoing investigation, you should not discuss the identification procedure or results.
Detective Jones, you said that you read each one of those sections, including, did you read the optional section to Mr. Howard as
Yes.
well? And after that, and we'll go through some of the stuff, all of this is filled out after he's viewed the photo array, is that correct?
There's a part where he initialed that he understood what I read to him, just below.
Is that occurring right here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay. And that is after you read it, correct?
That's after I read. I made sure he understood each line.
And when you say that you don't know the order of the suspects or how they will be shown, is that a true and accurate statement?
That is.
And you don't know to be able to suggest in any way, either intentionally or unintentionally, who the person is he should be identifying. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then what did you do after you read him this and he signed indicating that he understood what the instructions were?
I showed him, I opened up the manila envelope and showed him 6 photos.
And is that the first photograph that you showed him?
Yes,
And these are all done one at a time, is that correct?
one at a time, yes.
And is this the second photograph that you showed him?
You said one at a time. I put all 6 out, but I put one down at a time, if that makes sense.
I understand. They're in a sealed manila envelope, is that correct?
Yeah, I opened them up and the first one had number 1 on it. I played to sit down. It stayed down until number 6 was down.
Understand. And then you placed, but you did them sequentially in order.
Yes,
And then is this the third photo that was taken and put down in front of him?
yes,
The fourth one?
yes,
Number 5
yes,
and number 6.
yes.
And after he reviewed and looked at all of those photos, was he able to make an identification in relation to Detective Drabeck's investigation?
He was.
I'm going to put back number 2. Is number 2 the photograph that he was able to identify?
Yes.
And what is this down here under the number 2?
Under the number 2 is the date. So I'll start from left to right.
Yes, sir.
On the left, it's got RH, which was the initials that he used to sign that he understood. The date, which was 8/12/25. And then in parentheses, that's what he identified this person in the photo as,
Person he
whether
is.
that be a nickname.
Okay, I don't know if you guys remember, but Davion's attorney was sure to point out that Robert Howard could not point out Davion Murphy during the lineup. And here's the thing with the Davion Murphy thing. Remember, Gonzalez was making this whole big spiel about you knew Rashad Murphy from the news. It was everywhere. That's how you knew who he was, right? If that's the case, he would have also been able to point out Davion Murphy. He couldn't point out Davion Murphy. He could only point out Rashad, which further makes me believe he saw Rashad's face. He knew who he was.
Name or his government name.
So that was what he designated as ghost, is that correct?
It appears, yes.
And then after he did that, did you then fill out the rest of his first sheet of State's Exhibit 107?
Yes.
And again, there is Mr. Howard's signature.
Yeah, and just above that, he checked the box that says he selected photo number 2, and that's his writing.
Okay, and that's as a person who is ghost, is that correct?
That's who he identified as photo number 2. Mr. Howard did.
And again, he dates it, is that correct?
Yes,
And you then sign and date as well.
correct.
There was a second photo array that was provided to you by Detective Drabeck, is that correct?
Yes,
And again, it ends up being of Davion Murphy, but did you know that at the time when it was shown to Robert Howard on August 12th of 2025?
I did not know.
And I'm going to show you defense exhibit for Davion Murphy, exhibit number 1. Sir, do you recognize this document?
Yes,
Again, it is a Tampa Police Department issued form for showing a photo array lineup, is that correct?
yes, it is.
The same procedure that you did for showing Robert Howard the photo pack containing Rashad Murphy, did you utilize the same exact procedures that you did when showing Robert Howard the photo array containing Davion Murphy?
Yes, I did.
So again, there is a date and time when this is shown to Mr. Howard, is that correct, that is filled in?
Yes, it's showing 8/12/2025, which is August 12th, and the time was 10:18 a.m.
And after you read the instructions, did he again sign an initial indicating that he acknowledged that he understood the instructions that you had read to him
Yes,
regarding this photo pack identification?
correct.
And then did you do the same procedure and show and take out of the manila envelope photo after photo of the suspect and the 5 filler photographs?
Yes, I did.
And again, I know this is in black and white, but this is a accurate copy of the photo array that you showed Mr. Howard. Is that correct? Back
Yes.
on August of 2025.
Yes,
And in this case, when he reviewed all of that, he was unable to make an identification. Is that correct?
yes, that's what it appears as.
And you would have notated that again on the front sheet that he was unable to select any photo of the suspect. Is that correct?
He would have notated that.
Yes. And he was not able to make an identification.
Correct.
And sir, you don't know when or how long ago it was that Mr. Howard had seen any of these individuals. Is that correct?
I don't know. No, I don't know what is.
Overall, go ahead.
Do you know how many times he would have seen either one of those individuals?
I didn't know the relationship between the two whatsoever, and that both Murphys. I didn't know the relationship with Mr. Howard.
Okay, but he was only able to make one identification.
Correct.
Is that correct?
But I didn't know if they were friends, acquaintances. I didn't know anything as far as their relationship in the past or present.
And that is by design, correct? When you are when you are the detective assigned with actually showing the photo array, is that correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, at this time we pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Briefly.
Leave her.
Detective Jones, hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Detective, and I might have missed it, excuse me if I did. Do you compile the photographs or are they provided to you?
This was provided to me.
Do you have any idea where the photographs are obtained? Do you know whether or not this is Rashad Murphy's booking photo from his arrest in this case?
I do not know if it's from a Jacksonville arrest or a Tampa arrest. I do not know.
Okay. Just for edification, do you know if you're arrested in Jacksonville, does Jacksonville utilize orange inmate clothing?
They can.
Is,
Yeah,
that, is that the standard
I
clothing?
think the standard is green.
Okay. Do you know what would designate someone as orange if it's not the regular everyday color of clothing?
I didn't work in the jail, but I've been told it's like a high risk person.
So you don't know whether or not photograph number 2 comes from Hillsborough County booking or not, correct?
I don't know.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
As I understand it, you presented 2 photo displays that were provided to you by Detective Drayback. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
And you've gone through the procedure and how you did that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you'd had, 8 years in the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
At the time of the photo spread?
Correct.
Yeah, around 8
Around 8
years.
years.
Yes, sir.
So it wasn't the first time that you had done a photo display, correct?
That's correct.
And so that I'm clear, and ladies and gentlemen of the jury are clear, the first photo display, the person that you provided that photo display to was Robert Howard, correct?
Yes, both photo arrays were given to Mr. Howard.
Howard, correct. And in the initial photo display, he was able to identify one of the photos, correct?
The first one, yes, sir.
Right. And I believe it was photo number 2. Whomever photo number 2 is, that's who he identified.
Yes, sir.
And then you showed him another photo display. You went through the same process and read him what you were asking, et cetera, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And the second photo display was Mr. Howard able to identify anyone?
He wasn't able to identify. And then he
Did not identify.
He had notated that on. It just says unable. Yes, sir.
Unable to identify.
Yes, sir.
anyone, correct. All right. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, any questions, Mr. Wise? And Mr. Petrides? Okay, redirect.
No redirect, Your Honor.
This one is to be excused.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You're
Thank
free to go. All right, next witness.
State calls Molly Carter.
Wanda, don't do that because Gonzalez is bringing all of the energy in that courtroom, okay? The rest of them so dull. At least he gives you a little spunk, you know? He makes me feel like he's working for that client. Listen, Davion's attorney can't remember his name. Isaiah's attorney, sometimes he just sounds like he lost and just got his notes. It's right before he walked in the courtroom. And we're not gonna even get on Sean Gathright's attorney. I don't know what that man is on. He just up there asking stuff. Oh, he irks my nerves. Oh, Sean Gathright's attorney, but I do understand that. I mean, how can you defend him really? He all up and through the case. Half the evidence is for him. You do. I don't care for Isaiah's attorney. That little short, he sound like he be lost. Or he's scared to ask the question. And you were doing that, right? Right? I don't know. Maybe that's his tactic. No, I have to go with Gonzalez, even though he's long-winded, but I'm gonna go with Gonzalez. Are you talking about Isaiah Chance with the hands? Sharonda. Ooh. Gonzalez, they
You
might.
may proceed.
Please state your full name for the court.
Molly Carter, MOLLYCARTER.
What is your occupation?
I am a senior crime laboratory analyst with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement in the Jacksonville Regional Operations Center in the biology and DNA section.
How long have you been with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
16 years.
What are your duties and responsibilities as a senior crime laboratory analyst in the biology section?
I examine items of evidence for the presence of body fluids such as blood, semen, or saliva. And I also can swab items or cut swabs for DNA testing. And then I analyze the results of those DNA testing and issue my findings in a report.
What is your educational background?
I have a bachelor's of science in biology from the University of West Florida.
Have you received specialized training in the area of DNA testing and comparison and analysis?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this training?
Yes.
Oh, stop the presses because I know that's not Shanny. I know that is not Shanny that popped up in here. Baby, stop it right now. Stop. Hey, Shanny. Hey, Kaylane.
At FDLE, I underwent a two-phase training process. The first phase was primarily academic. I read a lot of literature, including journal articles and textbooks. I also tested numerous training samples, and I took written and oral exams. In the second phase, I worked actual cases under the supervision of a qualified analyst, and then I participated in a mock trial.
Is FDLE, is that an accredited lab in the area of DNA testing and analysis?
Yes.
What does it mean to be an accredited lab?
To be accredited, it means that we've met the standards of quality. And to do this, we have an audit where our policies are reviewed, our files are reviewed, our training program and educational requirements are reviewed, as well as proficiencies and our logbooks and the files.
Have you ever been qualified as an expert in the area of DNA testing and analysis and testified as an expert in the state of Florida?
Yes.
Approximately how many times have you testified as an expert in this area?
I've testified 58 times.
Each time that you do a test and report a result regarding DNA analysis, is that subject to peer review?
Yes.
Can you explain?
Now, I just can't believe it. Some of y'all in here not remembering earlier in the case when they were talking about the Twitter spaces, they talked about how Foolio, someone was saying that Isaiah Chance was gay. That was new to me because I thought the whole argument started from his clothes. But no, they were saying that he was gay, and Detective Ramos on day 8 is actually going to say it in the courtroom. He actually says that Mr. Chance was a homosexual. It's going to be on day 8 though, when they're going through social media posts.
To the jury what it means that your testing and analysis and conclusions are peer reviewed.
Yes. So each file or case undergoes a technical review, and that is usually done by another qualified analyst. And it's a complete review of the entire case file. And it's to ensure that all of the policies were followed during testing and that my conclusions match the results.
I didn't want to spill Shannon tea, but Shannon sure did go and have a whole baby on us. A whole little girl on us, y'all.
And then an administrative review is usually done by a supervisor, and it's also to check for adherence to policy.
Is that a method of quality control for the testing that is done by your lab?
Yes.
Is it a generally accepted fact that everyone other than identical twins have different DNA?
Yes.
What is DNA?
DNA is a very large molecule found in all cells of the body except for mature red blood cells, and it's our genetic blueprint. It makes us who we are. So like it guides processes like digestion and also determines characteristics like eye color and hair color. And again, no two people have the same DNA except for identical twins, and you receive half of your DNA from your mother and half from your father.
So DNA varies from person to person, and when you are doing your analysis, you identify the difference in the DNA. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that would be the part that is unique to each person other than twins.
Yes.
Where is DNA found on the human body?
It's found in skin cells, blood, semen, saliva, bone, and hair.
Does it ever change in our lifetime?
No.
How does DNA get left on an item of evidence?
So DNA can be left on an item from handling that item. And the more you handle an item, the more likely you are to leave your DNA behind. And it also depends on the surface of the item. A rough surface, you're more likely to leave DNA behind, and a smooth surface, maybe not as much.
So there are many factors and variables that may affect whether or not DNA is left behind on a scene. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you said, I think you already testified that DNA is in blood. Is that
Nefri, you just made my day. Hey, good morning, girl.
correct?
Yes.
Also semen.
Yes.
If a person did not bleed at a scene but still handles an item, what type of DNA is being left behind, possibly on an item?
That would be your skin cells or epithelial cells.
Is there also variables in a person's ability to shed and leave skin cells or epithelial cells behind at a scene?
Yes. And there could also be sweating as a factor, which acts as a vector to transfer skin cells as well.
If somebody is wearing gloves, can that affect whether or not they leave DNA behind at a particular crime scene?
Yes, it acts as a barrier between the skin and the item.
And if somebody never touches an item or bleeds, then there is the unlikelihood that DNA will be left behind at scene. Is that correct?
Yes.
What is known as a DNA standard or a known DNA swab?
This is a standard taken directly from a person. Usually it's a swab that looks much like a Q-tip, and it's used to swab the inside of the mouth to obtain epithelial cells from inside your cheek. And that is used to develop a DNA profile from a person that we can use as a known standard that we can then compare to question items or crime scene profiles.
What is STR DNA analysis?
STR stands for short tandem repeat. These are small segments of DNA, small repeating segments of DNA, and they're found throughout the body. And those repeats vary per individual, and that's how we can determine one person's DNA from another.
How is that process done?
So the first process is when we get an item in, we cut it and place it into a small tube about this big, and then it undergoes an extraction process. That's to get any of the cells off of the item and also to break open those cells and expose the DNA into the solution. And then the next step is quantitation. That's to determine how much DNA is in the sample. And that helps us with the next step, which is amplification, where we copy these areas millions of times. And that helps us read it better when we put it on a genetic analyzer. And then that genetic analyzer will give us the profile. It looks like peaks on a graph. And there's 21 areas plus 3 gender markers. And all of those 21 areas make up your DNA profile.
And when you take a known sample, you will see those 21 areas and the different peaks for each of the areas. Is that correct?
Yes, with 2 peaks at each area, representing your mother's contribution and your father's contribution.
And then an item of evidence, do you do the same thing with that, extract the DNA and then get those results to compare to the known standard?
Yes.
You mentioned that there are variables in whether or not DNA can be left behind on an item. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is DNA biodegradable?
Yes.
So whether it's blood or skin cells, that has the ability to degrade over time.
Yes, and there are factors that can affect that degradation, including sunlight, chemicals, humidity, and heat.
And what about items that have been washed or wiped away?
That's going to wash away DNA. There may be some left behind, but it can definitely wash it away.
So if somebody were to take a white rag or a white cloth and wipe an area down, that potentially could take any DNA away from that item.
Yes.
Each case that you work on at FDLE, do you assign a unique case number that corresponds to each investigation?
Yes.
Does that help you later be able to document and identify each case that you actually worked?
Yes.
Did you work on FDLE case number 2024-0403-556?
Yes.
And that is for the listed subject of Sean Gathright, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you personally know any of the subjects involved in this case?
I do not.
And does the information that is documented on the items that you receive at your office, does it list the type of offense
Yes.
along with the law enforcement agency that submitted the evidence to your office for analysis?
Yes.
And who was the law enforcement agency in this case that submitted items of evidence for this specific FDLE case number?
That is the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
What items of evidence did your office receive in this particular case to review and conduct analysis on?
Our laboratory received wrapping tape from the handle of a rifle, buccal swabs from Sean Gathright, and buccal swabs from Isaiah Chance.
And those were the only 2 buccal swabs that you were submitted by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Is that correct, to do this analysis?
Yes.
I'm going to start with State's Exhibit number 140. It's already in evidence. Do you recognize State's Exhibit number 140? And you can look on your screen in front of you. Do you recognize this item?
I do.
And how is it that you recognize State's Exhibit 140?
The yellow label is the FDLE label, and this tag here with the case number, item number, and the analyst initials is from FDLE.
And was there another lab technician at the Florida Department of Law Enforcement in the Jacksonville area that actually opened the items and processed the items?
Yes.
And would they be responsible for documenting on this particular package the unique FDLE number, as well as initialing to indicate that they are the ones that received this package and opened it and processed it?
Yes.
And do you recognize the initials of that person?
I do.
And who is that?
That's Leanne Grissom.
And is she another analyst assigned at FDLE to the biology section?
Yes.
And is that normal? What is the normal policy and procedure when a item of evidence such as State's Exhibit 140 comes into the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, your office, for processing?
We use a teams approach, so there may be someone that actually processes the item of evidence and obtains the samples for it to go through the DNA testing process. And then another analyst may extract that item, and then another analyst will analyze the data and issue the report. And then again, other analysts will tech review that file.
And is that what occurred in this particular case, that one of the analysts actually processed the items, but you received the data from the test and interpreted the results?
Yes,
And that is standard procedure at the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
yes,
And does each analyst properly document the unique case number to ensure that you are working on a specific item with regards to a specific investigation?
yes.
And what process did the analyst in this case do to this particular item of evidence, 140, the wrapping tape from the lower rifle?
So the analyst observed an adhesive side and a non-adhesive side on this evidence, and she swabbed each side with separate swabs, and they went through the DNA testing process separately.
And so there are two samples, is that correct?
Yes,
And prior to that, had there also been received by your office State's Exhibit 141, I apologize, the buccal swab of Sean Gathright?
yes,
And again, taking a look at Exhibit 141, both sides, do you recognize this particular package?
I do.
And again, is there the unique FDLE case number?
Yes,
And is there the same documentation by the same analyst who processed the wrapping from the rifle?
yes,
And you recognize the case number as well as the initials of the analyst who did the processing?
yes. That's also Leanne Grissom.
And did Ms. Grissom do the same type of test on this particular buccal swab in order to obtain SeanGathright's DNA profile?
Yes,
Did you then look at the results and the raw data of that test to interpret the DNA profile?
I did.
Was there, from States 141, Sean Gathright, was there a full DNA profile from all 21 areas that was obtained from States Exhibit 141?
Yes,
And that is a unique profile to the known person that was obtained to Sean Gathright, is that correct?
yes,
Did you also receive a buccal swab from a known buccal swab from Isaiah Chance?
yes,
Did the same process happen with that buccal swab, where it was put in and extracted and then a full DNA profile was obtained for Isaiah Chance?
yes,
And then going back to States 140, you said that there were two samples. One was from the adhesive side and one was from the non-adhesive side. Is that correct?
yes.
Let's first talk about the swabbing from the non-adhesive top side of the tape, the wrapping tape from the rifle. Were there DNA that was extracted from the non-adhesive side?
Yes,
And what was the result of the DNA sample that was extracted from the non-adhesive side?
this demonstrated the presence of a mixture consistent with 4 contributors, including at least 1 male contributor.
What does it mean to have a mixture of DNA?
A mixture just means that more than one person left their DNA behind on an object.
And if you have a mixture, is it more difficult sometimes to pull out each individual contributor to the mixture?
Yes, it can be.
And in this particular case, you said that you had at least 4 people contributing to the DNA that was found on the non-adhesive side. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did you then compare the results of the mixture to the full profile of Sean Gathright?
yes.
What was the results of that analysis?
So Sean Gathright was included as a possible contributor to that mixture.
And then after you are able to include him as a possible contributor, do you then do a statistical comparison?
I do.
What is that called?
That's called a likelihood ratio.
What is a likelihood ratio?
So a likelihood ratio is a ratio of 2 probabilities that gives a numerical value that shows strength of support for one scenario over another. Namely, did the person of interest leave their DNA on this item, or was it an unrelated individual that left their DNA behind? So a likelihood ratio of 1 would mean that both of those scenarios are equally likely. And then the higher the number, the more support for the person of interest leaving their DNA behind. And then conversely, the smaller the number, the more support for an unrelated individual leaving their DNA behind.
And what was the likelihood ratio in this case when you compared Sean Gathright's full profile to that mixture obtained from the non-adhesive side of the tape from the rifle?
The observed mixed DNA profile is greater than 700 billion times more likely to occur if the sample originated from Sean Gathright and 3 unrelated individuals than if it originated from 4 unrelated individuals.
So the strength of the likelihood is 700 billion times. Is that correct?
Greater than 700 billion times. This is a cutoff that we use for reporting purposes.
Once you get over 700 billion, you don't go further. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you just report that it's greater than that. It's actually bigger than more than 700 billion times that it is his DNA that is in that mixture.
Well, not that it's his DNA that's in the mixture, but that the profile is greater than 700 billion times more likely if the sample originated from Sean Gathright and 3 unrelated individuals than if it originated from 4 unrelated individuals.
I understand. You're comparing the DNA profile, correct?
Yes.
And based on that, did you also, you said that it's a mixture of 4 or more individuals.
It's consistent with 4 individuals, yes.
Can you do a breakdown of the percentage of each individual that may be contributing to that mixture?
Yes.
And what was the breakdown for each individual? What percentage of their DNA profile is consistent in that mixture that was taken from the non-adhesive side of the tape?
So for this mixture, contributor 1 contributed 65% of their DNA to the mixture. Contributor 2 contributed 15% of their DNA to the mixture. Contributor 3 contributed 11%, and contributor 4 contributed 8%.
And who was the highest, the one that is contributing the 65% of the mixture to that sample, to that swab from the non-adhesive side of the tape?
Contributor 1 was consistent with the profile of Sean Gathright.
Sure.
Did you then try to conduct an analysis or comparison to the known profile from the buccal swab of Isaiah Chance?
Yes.
What was the result of that comparison?
So for this comparison, there was not sufficient statistical support for inclusion or exclusion. So I couldn't make any determination of Isaiah Chance's contribution to that mixture.
And why is that?
Just the DNA types that appear. The likelihood ratio that I obtained was in a range where there could be false inclusion or false exclusion. And so when we validated the software that we used to calculate the statistic, we came up with this range, and the comparison of Isaiah Chance's profile to the mixture gave a likelihood ratio result in that range.
And does that mean that he could not, it's possible that he is not part of the mixture?
That's possible.
Does it also mean that he possibly could be a part of that mixture?
That's also possible.
There's just not enough information to say one way or the other.
Correct.
He cannot be included in that mixture
Right.
or excluded.
Correct.
Did you also do the same type of analysis and comparison with the adhesive side of the tape?
The adhesive side of the tape went through the DNA testing process, but at the quantitation step, it demonstrated that there wasn't enough DNA to process it further. So we don't expect usable results at a certain threshold of DNA.
And is that what happened in this case when the tape is pulled up, the sticky side that would have been touching the rifle, there was not enough information for you to do then further analysis to see if anyone's DNA was on that particular sample?
Correct. There was too little DNA in that sample.
Does FDLE have policies and procedures when conducting DNA testing to see for law enforcement to follow when submitting items of evidence?
Yes, we have an evidence submission manual.
And is that to give guidance to law enforcement to know which items they could submit to your office for testing?
Yes.
Is there also a limit that is placed on law enforcement of the number of items that can be submitted for DNA testing?
Yes.
And why is that in place?
Because we want the most relevant items to a case to be submitted first, and because we have a very high caseload. So it makes for more efficient processing.
So for instance, if there were DNA swabs that were taken from a vehicle in which the assailant or attackers never entered, would you then test those items in order to determine identity of assailant?
No,
Why not?
because there's no relevance of that vehicle to this particular crime. And so we would not process samples from it.
For DNA purposes, is that correct?
Yes.
And so does law enforcement have to have a justification or a reason when submitting items to you to identify and analyze for DNA purposes?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I have one moment?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time we pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, any questions?
No question, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi, any questions?
Do you want any of these items up here, Mr. Sonardi? Do you want these items up here?
Good afternoon,
Good
Ms. Carter.
afternoon. Hi,
How many years you been with FDLE?
16,
Always in the biology section or different department?
always in biology.
And as I understand it, you were provided by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office with some items to be examined for DNA, correct?
No, I received items from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
They came from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
Yes,
All right. And those items were basically a wrapping from the handle of a rifle
yes,
and a buccal swab from an individual, correct?
yes,
And as I understand it, you examined that wrapping on the adhesive side and the non-adhesive side, correct?
Leanne Grissom did. She swabbed both sides separately. Yes,
All right. So you examined both sides.
yes,
And as I understood your testimony, you indicated there are a number of ways that individuals can leave DNA, correct?
yes,
Including me touching this podium right now. Is that one of the ways that I could transfer DNA that could be recovered later and examined by you?
it's possible.
And saliva,
Yes,
perspiration,
yes.
any of the bodily fluids, correct?
I wouldn't say any of them, maybe not urine, but
Okay.
saliva and sweat are good sources of DNA.
And also, when I'm saying touch the podium, that would be a transfer because of my skin cells being transferred, or would it be my bodily fluids, the bodily oils in my hand transferring the DNA?
Well, if we're talking about oils or sweat, then it's just a vector for the skin cells to transfer.
So I'm actually transferring skin cells, not necessarily my bodily oils, correct?
Yes,
And those are very easy to transfer and very easy to be later identified and or recovered, correct? If
not always. Sometimes we don't obtain results and sometimes we do. There are a lot of scenarios that affect that.
all right, but they can be recovered, correct?
Not,
well,
again, not always.
Well, I understand that, but you did examine the adhesive and non-adhesive tape,
Yes,
all right, and you did locate what you identified as DNA on the non-adhesive portion of the tape, correct?
correct.
So DNA was located there.
Yes,
All right, so DNA can be located on a number of different substances by a different number of different means, correct?
yes,
Now, I also noted in your report on page 2, in examining the wrapping tape, which you identified as item number 7, there were possible hairs that you located on that tape.
well, yes, Leanne Grissom did observe possible hairs on that item.
Were there hairs or were there not hairs?
We're not experts in hair identification, so we refer to them as possible hairs.
Possible hair. It
Yeah.
looked like hair to you.
Right.
Is that correct? After 16 years, can you identify hair?
Now we
I
keep going down
can
this.
identify if a possible hair is suitable for DNA testing, but I can't state that it's a hair.
Okay. All right. And why would that be important to identify a possible hair?
Because it's just the scope of the item and what she observed.
And that can also be tested for DNA, can it not?
If it's suitable for DNA testing, then yes, but there are definitely possible hairs that are not suitable.
Well, we don't know in this particular case whether or not that possible hair was suitable for testing or not, or do we?
Correct. They were not examined microscopically. They were just noted on the item.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Okay, Mr. Wise.
What was that about? They didn't connect the hair to anyone.
Afternoon.
One of the things Ms. Doherty left off asking about
I
was
hear you.
limitations on items that can be submitted to you by law enforcement. The limits we were talking about are actually limits on the number of items that can be submitted on each submission. Am I correct about that?
There are limits on the number of items, yes.
But law enforcement can make multiple submissions to
Correct.
FDLE, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, when we're talking about, I mean, you gave an example of items that might not be relevant for comparison in a particular case. But when we're talking about a first-degree murder case, any items that have potential value to an investigation can be tested for DNA by the FDLE, correct?
There is some discretion involved. After the first submission, our supervisors can deny additional submissions.
And but that's something that would be law enforcement could submit whatever they feel is appropriate, and if FDLE believes that some items may not be suitable, they would reject them potentially, right?
Potentially, yes.
That didn't occur in this case, right?
Correct.
And ultimately, you as the examiner, it's not your decision to decide what should be tested, right?
Sometimes it is.
Okay, sometimes. In this particular case, did that kind of discretion come into play, or were you just testing what you were asked to test by law enforcement?
In this case, it was just what was submitted.
Now, the one item we've heard about today, wrapping tape from a rifle handle. You don't, I assume, know any information as far as like where that rifle was collected or what significance it may have to the investigation, right?
I do not.
And that's not really part of your job. Your job is to compare DNA profiles, right?
Sometimes it is important for us to know where an item was collected, but sometimes it's just straight DNA testing.
Okay. And in this case, it was just straight DNA testing, right?
Yes,
Now, the swabbing that we've heard about from the non-adhesive side of that tape, it has a mixture of 4 DNA profiles, correct?
correct.
And the only DNA profiles you were asked to compare it against were Sean Gathright's and Isaiah Chance's, correct?
Yes,
And you determined that of the 4 profiles, at least one was male, correct?
there at the gender determining markers, there was indications of male DNA.
Okay. The other 3 could have been male, could have been female. Is that correct?
Correct.
The DNA, any of the DNA profiles, but just take the DNA profile that was consistent with Sean Gathright's DNA. You can't say when that profile would have been deposited on the tape, correct?
No, the DNA testing does not tell me that information.
Could have been the day before, could have been many, many days before, right?
Yes,
And you also can't determine how the DNA profile may have been deposited.
correct.
Mr. Snarty asked you about, for instance, if he touches this podium, his DNA may be on the podium now, right?
Maybe yes,
Maybe. Lots of variables come into play, right?
yes,
You're also familiar with a principle called secondary transfer, correct?
yes,
And that is a means by which DNA may be deposited on a particular item when a person's never even touched it, right?
yes,
And basically what that means, well, and to give a hypothetical, let's say, so Mr. Snarty was giving an example of touching the podium, and he's touched it here, and his DNA hypothetically is there. I've put my computer down here. His DNA very well may be now on my computer through secondary transfer, correct?
it's possible.
And in that scenario, Mr. Snarty would have never touched my computer, correct?
Correct.
Another example may be you get off the stand, we shake hands, and then you go open that door.
I mean, now I know he needs to defend his client, and I'm not saying he should not defend his client, but sir, please just hang it up. I mean, listen, the guns were in Sean's home. It is highly likely that he had touched his mom's guns. Stop.
My DNA may now be on that door, and I've never touched it, correct?
It's possible.
And one thing, I think Mr. Snarty covered this, but there were multiple potential hairs that were observed on the wrapping tape, correct?
Yes,
They were neither removed or examined?
correct.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all.
Okay, Mr. Petridis?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, we talked about the mixture, and you said 4 contributors. Is this a number that you found there, or you had to just put a number into the system?
I analyzed the mixture, and based on my training and experience, I determined that there were 4 individuals in that mixture.
Could there have been more individuals in the mixture?
I have to go by the information I have, and it looked like 4 individuals.
And when you put in the different numbers of contributors, that changes, I assume, the statistics you get out from the STR, correct?
Yes, that would change it.
So if you put in 5 or 6, the numbers you gave earlier would be slightly different,
It could be slightly different, yes.
or significantly different, possibly?
Well, and we don't analyze anything at 5,
Okay.
so maybe 3 or 4. It could be somewhat different. I don't know that it would be significantly different.
You don't analyze anything 5 or more contributors?
Correct.
Is that a policy decision?
Yes.
Okay.
The software wasn't validated for more than 4 contributors.
Understood. And like you said earlier, your conclusion was not to include or exclude Isaiah Chance as a contributor, correct?
I could not include or exclude him, correct?
Is that because the sample was not good enough to test against Mr. Chance's sample?
No, it was just that the DNA types weren't sufficient to say that there was an inclusion or an exclusion.
And you mentioned a 700 billion number earlier from Mr. Gathright, but that's obviously not the only number you use. It could be a lot lower, correct?
Yes,
So in some cases, if there's a chance that multiple people could have left the DNA, the number could be in the millions or thousands or even hundreds, correct?
correct.
You didn't use any of those. You couldn't feel comfortable using any of those from Mr. Chance, correct?
Well, the likelihood ratio I got was not in the thousands or millions.
Okay, so it was lower then.
It was in the range, it was low. It was in the range that we use for not included nor excluded.
Okay, so you can't say with any degree of certainty that he left DNA on that.
No, I can't.
Thank you.
Okay, redirect?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Carter, when you receive hears at Florida law enforcement, why are they not tested?
We can possibly test possible hairs. And it's always an option to go back to it and test it later if needed. But in this case, it was not determined to be needed.
Is that because you were able to get results from the item that was submitted by law enforcement? Is that correct?
Yes.
And when you're looking at hairs, are all hairs suitable for testing?
No.
And what makes a hair suitable for testing?
So when I'm looking at a possible hair under the microscope, I'm looking at the root end. And if there's cells attached to that root, or if it's in a certain growth phase, that means it would be suitable for DNA testing.
And when you are examining an item, or whether another analyst is examining items, are you examining and testing what you believe at, or that analyst at the time will give you the best source of DNA to compare to a suspect?
Yes.
And in this particular case, was it the swab that was taken directly from the tape that was surrounding the rifle?
Yes.
And you were asked specifically about whether or not you would look at mixtures involving more than 5 individuals. Is that correct?
5 or more.
And you do not do that because the software is not designed for that. Is that correct?
It has since been validated for 5, but we did not validate it at our lab for 5. So we stick to single source, 1 contributor, up to 4 contributors to a mixture.
And is that what the policy and procedures for what is part of your accreditation for the DNA analysis that you do?
Yes.
And then going back to the call that there are 4 individuals that are in that DNA, is that based on your training and experience looking at all of those 21 locations and 2 possible peaks for each individual?
Yes, I'm looking at how many peaks there are, and knowing that there's half from your mother, half from your father, and also considering that some people could have the same DNA types at areas, but overall they're not going to have all the same DNA types. And then the amounts that each DNA type contributed, those all factor into my interpretation of the mixture as 4 contributors.
And you were of that opinion that there were 4 contributors at least to this particular mixture obtained from the non-adhesive side of the tape?
Yes.
And when you're looking at, I believe Mr. Petridis asked you about that likelihood ratio and the percentage or the numbers increasing. When the individual that you said was it 64% who made up 64% of that mixture, Sean Gathright?
65%, yes.
65, thank you for correcting me. That is the person who you were able to do the likelihood ratio of the presence of his DNA profile is there was support for 700 billion times more likely. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that is based in somewhat part of the contribution of his percentage into that mixture. Is that correct?
Yes.
The less of the DNA that is in the mixture, then those numbers go significantly down.
Correct.
And when there is not enough of a person's DNA, you are in the position where you cannot say whether or not that DNA is truly included or excluded in a mixture. Is that correct?
Yes.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, may this witness be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Okay, come on up real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna be done with day 7 today.
So,
I'm gonna have to do
Okay.
day 8.
again, Your Honor,
We're gonna be done.
so Judge, referring to defendant Rashad Murphy's 7th motion in limine, which now has changed a little bit because we're referring to, instead of what was previously Exhibit 65, it's now Exhibit 101.
Okay, let's
And-
put it up on the, so I can see it.
Yes, and Exhibit 101, Judge, is a cell site extraction of the jointly possessed phone, 904-386-0925. First, Judge, would be State's Exhibit 101R.
Okay,
And obviously, this photograph depicts Mr. Murphy face and upper torso. I would certainly argue that this is not relevant. It's not admissible under 401. If there is any relevance whatsoever, it is outweighed by the extreme prejudice that would exist. Certainly, what appears to be Mr. Murphy's smug or otherwise maybe indicative of a lack of remorse after Mr. Jones's homicide.
I was like, where are we getting it? It's just a picture of him. This was after the homicide. Oh, okay.
These facial expressions, I think,
Okay.
give rise to a significant risk that the jury will interpret this appearance as
Here's the thing. None of them gave a damn after. This picture is just a little smart piece.
reflecting some sort of
I get it, but
character that he's exhibiting or some type of consciousness of guilt. And I don't, A, understand relevance, and B, certainly would not suggest that it's outweighed by any prejudicial value.
Any probative value? Okay, so it looks
Probative
like,
value.
according to the records, it looks like this image was created June 25th of 2024 at 3:04:21 UTC time, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So what's the relevance, Mrs. Murphy?
Your Honor, in this picture, the state's not asking for any witness to determine what the significance of the defendant's facial expressions are, but instead to assert the defendant's possession of this device, his wearing of the clothing that is depicted in the Walmart footage before the homicide, and in this description or depiction from after the homicide. It certainly puts the defendant, even with having a cap on and the jewelry and the black top, in the same position, same clothing he was in Walmart as well. I understand that the defense's argument is that it is a shared device, and that's fine, but there are dozens of posts that come from what the state is asserting is this device over the course of this 5-day period. So it is an item or an exhibit asserted to establish the defendant's possession of this device thereafter.
come on.
Okay.
No one's asking the opinion of what the face means.
And I would note, I mean, there does appear to be some religious jewelry on there, so that could be helpful to your client as much as.
Judge, I'm certainly not looking at the religious aspect of it being helpful to Mr. Murphy, but certainly the fact that he's wearing a black T-shirt and a beanie would have, in my eyes, zero relevance to anything that occurs with regard to this murder, whether it be what shooter number one is wearing or what he's wearing at Walmart. We've never insinuated in any way, shape, or form, based on our questioning, based on the answers that we are eliciting, based on what was said to the jury in opening, that that phone is not a jointly owned or jointly possessed phone of Rashad Murphy. In fact, it is.
Here's the thing with Gonzalez. Gonzalez gonna have to pick a side, because y'all remember at some point Gonzalez was trying to say this phone took a screenshot and it was in Jacksonville. Remember, he tried to say that Rashad left the freaking phone. What the state is trying to prove is that at some point he would have control over this phone, possession. He would have possession of this phone. So you got to pick a side. Either this is phone, it's not his phone. They're trying to make sure your argument doesn't stand. The boy would have possession of the phone. You brought this, you started this.
It's part of our case. So for the state to suggest that this is necessary because of some clothing relationship, I think the fact that it's a black T-shirt and what appears to be some kind of a black hat is wholly insufficient to suggest that it's relevant. And certainly even the look, and just the look on Mr. Murphy's face lends itself for the jury or to the jury to have any number of different type conclusions. This is June 25th. It's 2 days.
Now, is it our fault that your client didn't give a damn and he was posting these selfies? No.
After the murder, and certainly is not affixed with any other type of comment or post that might create context. I think it does nothing more than present or paint a picture for the jury of what type of character Mr. Murphy has, simply based on the look on his face. And it would lend itself to that. I can't imagine it wouldn't.
Okay. All right. Well, I do find it's relevant, and I find that any prejudicial effect is outweighed by the probative value. So overrule the objection.
Bye.
Okay. What's the next one?
He knew that argument didn't make sense. He had to know it.
Next would be states 101J.
Okay. What is that?
Your Honor, 101J.
Yep.
And I can't get it all on. I know what I mean.
That's fine. I just make sure I'm looking at the same copy. It appears to be someone's right arm and a car in a driveway.
Yes, Judge. It looks like the associated date is the 20th of June.
Right.
At 7:16 p.m. UTC. I believe the state's going to intend to argue that this photograph is Charles Jones' vehicle.
Y'all, I said, I know that's not Foolio's car. I know that it's not Foolio's car. What? And what day is this?
I don't know that there's going to be any evidence that this is in fact Charles Jones' vehicle,
Right.
or any identification of the person who happens to be in the partial picture, or what address that is and where it's at and what relevance it may play to Mr. Jones. Again, I think the state would assert, well, it's a couple of days before the murder. And
Well, let me hear from the state then. So
I'm sorry,
let me
Judge?
hear from the state. Then,
Right,
what the
you
relevance
just
is.
guessing. Let's see.
Exhibit posted in 101J was a photograph that was sent with another photograph at the same exact time and same exact second, which depicted the victim. There are also identifiers on the vehicle which are specific to the victim, or at least similar in nature to the victim's vehicle, including the hood, the bumper itself, the lights, the grille. But most importantly, it is sent in essentially a text message, 2 pictures, really 6 pictures with other context that Mr. Gonzalez is aware of. But the pictures do include photographs, or a photograph of the defendant, of the victim in this case, on the defendant's device. So certainly relevant to each other.
Okay, and they were sent either to or from the joint phone, the jointly owned phone with Miss Steiger?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me tell you. Wrap it up, Rashad. Wrap it up, Rashad. Here is Davion the only one that didn't use his phone? Is Davion the only person who didn't use his phone? Now, Davion's downfall is going to be how he acted in that interrogation room. The fact that Kenny also spoke to him on the phone and he was unfriendly. The fact that we know he was there because we see him at the Airbnb. That's his downfall. Rashad, at first it was like, okay, Rashad, yeah, he wasn't seen, but you knew he was at the Airbnb, right? Because he rode from Tampa. We also knew that there was evidence, but this right here, this phone, why would you leave? You left the phone, but you had been using that phone all while you were in Jacksonville. You have been using that phone. You were stalking this man well before Jacksonville. Remember, y'all, as early as June 6th. He's telling Sean, we got bigger fish to fry. Man, go get your friend. He might mess this up. Like, so we know as early as June 6th, you all were planning to kill this boy. Oh, baby, this is Gonzalez. Oh, my, I feel bad for Gonzalez because he tried.
Judge, the additional argument here is that there's no, in addition to there being no foundational evidence to establish the vehicle ownership, I think simply saying that generally it's a black car that may or may not be a Charger that has similar features doesn't get us any closer to determining whether or not it's Mr. Jones' car and it's relevant. I think in addition to that, Judge, it's the same.
Okay, let's take the car out. If we don't have his car, someone is sending pictures of the victim. Why do you need pictures of the victim?
Argument that it's recovered in a part of the phone, which is a system generating cache. It's an area where I don't believe the state can testify that Mr. Murphy even ever saw this. The fact that it's in the phone, it's in the extraction, it's in an area, it's in a place that it could have been generated, it could have been in that cache, and I don't believe there's any means to determine whether or not it was ever viewed by him or whether or not he knew it was there.
It sounds like your cross of Detective Ramos and your argument for the jury. What's your response, Ms. Murphy?
Your Honor, there's a source file path associated with these images that has been attached to the exhibit itself, and these images were located in the mobile SMS or text messaging data of the device.
Right.
The state can authenticate these images as well as have the officer or the detective, testify about their office.
Come on now.
Okay. Again, I do think it's relevant evidence, and
Bye.
this goes to weight, not admissibility. So, all right, overrule the objection.
Bye. Baby Rashad, baby, these boys got
Judge,
these lawyers working.
next would be 101C.
What is that?
This is 101C, Judge.
Is it the profile photo, the purported profile photo?
Yes, sir. And that is what the state extracted it as. I don't know what app it is from because I do not have that information
Okay.
on what account essentially.
And is that so anyway, state, tell me why you need this. Why is it relevant?
Only because of the content in the photo, Your Honor. It is obviously believed that the subjects or suspects in this case were utilizing face, head coverings, and gloves, and what would appear to be the defendant is taking a photograph of himself or some kind of a selfie on the 17th of June at 5:30 in the morning in advance of our homicide. Charge conspiracy dates beginning of June before this date.
Judge, first of all, I don't think the state can identify that that's Mr. Murphy taking a selfie of himself. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is the fact that this person is wearing gloves and a hood doesn't in any way, shape, or form comport, even if you look at the picture, with what was being worn by shooters that were 6 or 7 days later. Again, whatever limited relevance it may have is certainly outweighed by its probative value. It's on the phone, and that's the end of it. If they could see a face and it's Mr. Murphy, or it's Mr. Murphy's profile picture on Mr. Murphy's account, one of his accounts, that would be another story.
Do you have any evidence or can you link it up to any account that's,
I do not have any kind of source or file data that says what account it came from, just that it is in the mobile library images of the device.
all right. Okay, as to this one, at this time, I'm going to sustain the objection. Now, if something, Ms. Ismer, you think the door gets open somehow or becomes relevant, we can readdress, but at this point, I'm going to sustain the objection. All right, what's up next?
I think that's fair.
Judge, we would be moving now to State's Exhibit 88. 88, Judge, and I believe that it would be, bear with me 1 minute. 88. I don't. This is one.
81 through 11. B, 80B, and then D, 1 through 11. That is 88B.
Rashad is
Judge,
gone.
in
Gonzalez.
B,
Y'all look at this.
this
I was
appears
taking
to
screenshots. Look at this, y'all.
be an Instagram communication between an unknown individual named John Wall and an account Ghost 187 _ 12:38 a.m. on the 23rd of June, with the body stating "Get the B&B for me gang." Again, Judge, I would object as to its
No,
relevance
sir.
and how that relevance might be.
Oh, this is very relevant. Gonzalez is earning his money, but this is very relevant. Y'all, they were going to try to kill that boy at the Airbnb. That was the initial plan. When he posted on his Instagram, "I'm doing this pool party at the Airbnb," they said, "Oh, we got him." But they could not get the address. Oh my God. Y'all remember during Alicia Andrews' trial, we only heard that Sean was trying to get it. Now we have them actively working together to try to get the Airbnb address. This is Rashad's phone. Rashad, I think, is High Destiny. But yes, now you're trying to get it.
Be outweighed. We do not know who John Wall is.
We don't need to
We do
know
not
who he
if
is.
there are subsequent or prior conversations that would provide context to this particular singular.
Here's the thing. Gonzalez is a good ass lawyer. He is really working. But baby, do y'all see that date that's highlighted? Context. Charles Jones was in Tampa on this day at an Airbnb hosting a pool party. You had to inbox him for the address. We have the context, sir. They were trying to get where this boy was at. I wouldn't want this in either if I was his attorney.
Post and response, and therefore I would suggest the court is not admissible.
Okay, what's it relevant to?
Your Honor, the account's been identified by multiple witnesses at this point as belonging to Rashad Murphy, messaging another individual 3 hours in advance of the homicide having occurred for the Airbnb information. And this message is
Come on,
minutes
Gonzalez.
after the victim is posting to his Instagram, actually just a minute after the victim has posted to his Instagram account that they are at an Airbnb. Also, several hours throughout the day after the victim has been posting, and other individuals from the Airbnb have been posting about a party at the Airbnb in Tampa.
Just short follow-up, Judge. I first of all, I would suggest that although there has been testimony with regard to Ghost 187 being an account that's associated with,
And it's on his phone.
no witness, every witness that has been inquired of has suggested they've never seen a picture of him on that post. They've never seen anything related to him on that post. They've never seen him. They've never seen a family picture, a child picture, anything that would associate him with that Instagram account, other than just simply saying it is.
It's on
And
his
I don't
phone.
think it is sufficient.
Well, again, that sounds like your argument for the jury. I'm going to overrule objection, be admitted. I find it's relevant, and the probative value outweighs any prejudicial effect. Okay, next.
Judge, I can take the next images, and I guess we'll have to go through them individually. But what I will do, Judge, is simply say that the argument is the same.
Okay.
I'll make the argument initially, and apparently these images range from June 14th to June 25th, as the court sees them. And again, I would make a 401 and 403 argument to them collectively as well as individually that the relevance does not exist, and therefore, if there is any relevance, it is outweighed by the probative value is outweighed. And I would start, Judge, with 88D1.
am I looking at? A photo of whom?
Judge, I'm trying to get it to where you can see the.
No, I have the copy. I
Oh,
just don't know who I'm
okay.
looking at.
Prosper Johnson and Joe Rod Adams.
Okay.
We expect argument from the defense in this case that the defendant's deleted posts after this homicide include some reference to, instead of 187 babies and Prosper and Junior being the murdered victims of gun violence, that it makes some reference to the defendant's children. This establishes the defendant has knowledge of these other individuals and obviously was posted in sequence with the other events that have occurred in this case. So it's certainly relevant to establish his knowledge of these other individuals. The state also has sufficient rebuttal evidence to establish the birthday defense would not suffice. So certainly relevant to the state's case in chief and also specific rebuttal evidence if needed.
Okay, very good. Overrule the objection. Be admitted.
Next, Judge, would be States D2.
If I may, D2, 3, 4, and 7 have already been published through the recording, and I believe Mr. Gonzalez is in agreement that those have been at least admitted in another fashion in this case.
Judge, no, my objection. They have been admitted. They were objected to at that time,
Yep.
and I want the court to renew the objection. And that was D2, D3, D5,
4.
D4. Judge, next would be
Okay, so those will
D5.
be, those have already come into evidence, and I'd overrule the objection, so they will remain admissible.
D5, Judge.
Okay? That's the quote from Sun Tzu. I'm not sure who that, I can't read here. Anyway, what's the relevance?
Judge, this is posted in a series of Instagram posts just after the celebratory post, including the one with the middle fingers from the defendant, and to be followed immediately by the Prosper and Junior G-Day today posts and Hate Me Kindly posts. This is ultimately just to complete the posts from the morning after the homicide. Date and time stamped on this post relevant to our case would have been 10:52 a.m. on June 23rd.
Overrule the objection. Be admitted.
Next, Judge, is the post that Ms. Ismer was referring to just prior in her same argument. D6.
Overrule the objection. Be admitted.
D8.
What's that a picture of?
A still image of Joe Rod Adams, the individual reference in the earlier photo by the defendant, also the individual that was killed in the homicide. Robert Howard pled guilty to.
And that was posted June 24th, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Overrule the objection. Be admitted.
D9.
Same argument from the state, Your Honor.
All right. And that was posted.
I'm sorry, same argument being the relationship to time.
Relationship in time to the other post and relationship to specifically the content of the other posts.
Overrule the objection. Be admitted.
D10.
And 11 are both images posted, in relatively close time to each other. Both posted relating to individuals related to the case. Individual in D10 is the individual whose account is linked to paying for the Airbnb. Individual in D11 is the individual who is the author of the Foolio Dead music video. Both of those music videos posted to YouTube on the 24th and 25th, and the defendant immediately reposting those to his account. Both make references to, or at least the J. Breezy video makes reference to this particular murder. I could not tell you about the lyrics on Gravedigger. I have not memorized those.
Judge, my only additional argument there would be simply the fact that these are posted in the within the 2 days of the murder. There's no direct reference to the murder. These individuals are not related to the murder. They're not suspects in the murder. They're simply, as thousands of other individuals do, they follow drill rap videos. They post them. They share them. And I don't think there's any relationship to the crime and the offense at hand.
All right. Well, again, that sounds like your argument that you would make to the jury or cross-examination of Detective Ramos. Overrule the objection. They come in. Okay. Any other exhibits, proposed exhibits that you object to? Have we talked about all of your objections? Mr. Gonzalez.
Judge, that covers the motion in limine number 7. Everything would be ruled on. We do have one more issue, Judge, and that is I had previously sought admission or told the court that I was going to be seeking admission to
Right.
the text message that was screenshotted, text message communication that was screenshotted and on the extraction of the jointly owned phone.
Are Are you maintaining that, or are you withdrawing that? Because originally it was kept out due to the fact that it could be deemed improper character evidence, right? This looks like a conversation where someone is discussing how to smuggle a contraband cell phone into a prison, which is a felony. So what's your position on this?
Briefly.
So here, let me speak a little bit directly to your client, okay? And I don't know exactly what the relevance will be, so maybe you should tell me first what your position is.
Judge, we have already elicited testimony, and there is testimony in the record that the jury has heard that items that were purchased at Walmart,
Yes.
items that were purchased at Walmart that night, inclusive of a cell phone and other items that would in fact be contraband, cigarettes, a telephone cable, things of that nature, were meant in fact to go that weekend, the weekend of the murder, to the prison where Mr. Murphy's brother was incarcerated.
Well, I don't think that's come before the jury.
I'm sorry, Judge?
That hasn't come before the jury.
No,
It's the
Judge.
fact that he was at Walmart and was purchasing items, and I don't even remember getting in any detail into what he actually purchased.
I think
It showed him and like the technology area or the phone area, but I don't remember any specifics yet coming before this jury.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Detective Ramos stated that he originally thought that that cell phone could be a burner phone for this particular offense. Come to find out during the course of his investigation, and he's meaning this text, that that's not the case. That it wasn't that it wasn't for that
Okay.
purpose.
So that's why you saw it originally, and that's why the state originally cropped out the photo, right? There was a photo showing just the photo that the jury has seen was just the shoes, the purported shoes
Correct, Judge.
of your client.
Correct.
And then there were other items that were on the floorboard that the state did not include in the photo that went before the jury.
Yes,
Right.
Judge. And in looking at the totality of how
So let me just ask you this: do you want to seek to admit this or not?
do I want to
do you-
seek to admit that the text message in conversation with my client, he wants to admit it.
Okay, so here's the thing, Mr. Murphy, Rashad Murphy. This is what we would refer to as a double-edged sword. Okay, I could see how your attorney could potentially argue that this might be helpful to you, but it also could be harmful to you. And the reason why originally I'm assuming your attorney wanted to keep it out is because the state would never be able to introduce this text message in its case in chief against you, because it would be depicting improper bad character evidence on your part potentially.
Exactly.
Because attempting to smuggle contraband items into a prison, again, it's a felony. So this would be an admit.
I'm trying to understand why Gonzalez thinks that this argument is one he should make. I would just leave this alone. There's so much other evidence. Why are you? He's really trying to explain why Rashad was in Walmart. It doesn't matter. I don't think anyone cares what he purchased in Walmart. We're worried about what he has on. Black ski mask, black shirt, black jeans, black military boots. No one cares about what he had on. No one cares that much about the damn cell phone. There's other evidence. I just don't know why I don't know why he's doing this.
That you were attempting to commit a felony. So that's why the state could never introduce this as part of its case in chief. Now, if you really think this is important for your defense, after speaking with your attorney, this is your trial. Okay? If that's what you really think, and that's really
Y'all, I see y'all comments now, and that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Why would you want bad character evidence in your trial? You got enough bad character in here. Why do we want to add to it? Okay.
what you want to do, then I'll let your attorney admit it. But you need to understand there is downside risks to this. And there may be upside, and the upside may be worth it to you.
This is again why I say he thinks he was the mastermind, because he thinks this is a smart idea.
Versus the downside, but at the end of the day, it may be only downside, and you just need to understand that going into it. So I just want you to know that, okay? If you feel it's important, I'll let it come in, but you need to understand there's potential downside here. Okay, you want to talk to Mr. Gonzalez real quick about it, or you know what you want to do? Why don't you just talk to him real quick, Mr. Gonzalez, and make sure.
Why would you want to do this?
Okay, let me deal with Mr. Murphy first, and then I'll wrap up with you.
Why does he think this matters? And y'all be talking about my girl Cisco. My girl Cisco said, hold up, baby, this is not smart. and let me put it on record that I'm telling you it's not smart.
Okay, so I tell you what, I'm gonna give them time to continue talking. So what's your remaining issue, Mr.
I
Wise?
think the only remaining issue, I think everything else has been ruled on and worked out, but if you recall, there was a folder that was found in the iCloud somewhere buried deep that was found right before jury selection. That had videos from a club that Mr. Gathright is allegedly at the next night, the one in Orlando.
Right.
I believe Your Honor ruled that the Don Julio bottles can come in, but there's
Right.
one where he's allegedly doing, it's actually not the correct gang sign, but he's doing the 1200 with the wrong finger. And I think the state would like to that, I believe.
I guess
Let's identify it for the record.
Wait, so his client doesn't even know how to do the right gang sign? Are you serious?
Exhibit, what proffer exhibit is it?
Checking, Your Honor.
Please.
It is a video 94D6, and this is a still from the video. And then, oops, I apologize. I can play the video as well for the court, but
Well,
it's
that's
just
okay.
something from during the video itself.
Okay,
He
so
just
your
told
argument
live
is
Julio. He gang now.
making it sign
Well,
or
it is the wrong
something.
one, but in any event, he's not alleged to be a gang member. He's not charged
Yeah.
with that one. Everyone has said he's not a gang member.
Right.
So I think it would be a 4-3 issue.
It sounds like your argument for the jury. I'll overrule the objection.
And then the only other issue I think that's left, and this wouldn't really be promised, but just keep on court's radar, is that video from Mr. Gathright's interrogation room where he pushes up a ceiling tile.
Yeah. Is
So
it,
that'll be sometime tomorrow. I
okay. Are you guys seeking to admit that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll deal with that. What
Yeah.
witness does that?
Detective Griffin.
Detective Griffin. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Gonzalez, has your client made a decision?
Baby, if the judge telling you to let it go, let it go.
Judge, after discussion with Mr. Murphy, he is still seeking, admission of what would be Rashad Murphy's defense exhibit number 3, which is the text message.
Foolish.
I just need one moment to speak to Detective Ramos about that. You've been told to stay away from it essentially
Sure.
and to fix the.
Well, I tell you what, just let him know, because who knows, maybe, hold off, maybe during the direct of Detective Ramos, Mr. Rashad Murphy may have a change of heart. So let him know that if Mr. Gonzalez seeks to admit that exhibit, then it's fair game.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, and there was one more issue, connected issue, and that is the picture that was originally redacted. And so at this stage of the game, other than to admit it, which I'm sure Detective Ramos would be able to identify it in order to authenticate it, we do, I believe, already have in evidence the redacted picture.
Okay.
And I don't exactly know how we would handle
Well,
that.
can we substitute the exhibit?
What's been published already, unfortunately, is the redacted version. So I'd be happy to just make another, add it to the list or add it to that number, whatever is easiest. I'll do whatever.
Or can we get an instruction to the instruction to the jury that they're to consider the new exhibit in substitute for what has already been admitted as.
Oh, I can tell them that this is just a broader view than what they saw. That's fine. And then that way they don't think anyone's hiding anything from that.
Same exhibit number then, 101L, Your Honor.
What did it come in as originally?
101L.
Then let's make this 101L2. Okay.
Nope, I printed it all.
And just remind me to tell the jury that this is just an expanded version of the original 101L.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
And it's going to be a state exhibit, right? I don't need to introduce it.
Yeah, it's going to be a state exhibit. And so I guess, but do we want that coming in before you've made sure your client is 100%?
No, Judge, I was just thinking about how do we do it?
Yeah.
Because if we wait on it, then I can certainly make it.
So, yeah, so
Defense
let's do
exhibit
this. Let's
3.
do this. Let's do this. If your defense exhibit number 3, correct? If it comes in, then at that point in time, we can do a stipulated introduction of 101L2. And I'll just explain to the jury. Okay. Okay, that's what we'll do. Okay, anything else before we put Ramos back on the stand? And you need to talk to Ramos real quick?
Very quickly, Your Honor, yes.
Sure.
And I need to make an edit to the PowerPoint, which has those exhibits, to take out this updated photo.
Okay, so let the jury know we're almost ready. So 5-minute warning, we'll get going.
Testimony you're about to give in this house will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Okay, very good. You may proceed.
Thank you. Welcome back, Detective Ramos.
Good afternoon.
I want to start talking with you a little bit about the cell phone extraction from the device of an individual by the name of Darius Beals. How is it that you came to know there was relevant evidence related to that individual?
Yes, I learned from Christopher Dre back in Jacksonville that both of the Murphys were attempting to use Darius Beals as an alibi during the weekend of the homicide. So we obtained those Darius Beals phone download to see if we can cooperate that.
Yep.
Extraction from Detective Dreback as well.
Yes,
Did you take it upon yourself to also review the content of that extraction?
yes, I did.
And what did you do with the information contained in that extraction to prove or disprove any of the information that you had received?
I researched through the data and obtained some information from within the phone that contradicted Mr. Beals being in Tampa.
Were you able to select specific dates in order to do that?
Yes,
What were the dates that you utilized of importance?
June 22nd, 2024 and June 23rd, 2024.
The date of the homicide in this case being the 23rd, early morning hours?
Yes,
As it related specifically to Mr. Murphy, at what time did you expect to see Darius Beals' device in Tampa?
of course,
Rashad Murphy, excuse me.
for Rashad Murphy in the morning hours of the 23rd.
As it related to the statement from defendant Davion Murphy, when did you expect to see Darius Beals' device in Tampa?
The afternoon hours of the 23rd.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit state's exhibits number 86 and 147A through C.
Sorry, that was 86 and
147
A through E.
A through C.
C. Okay. Any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No additional objections, Your Honor.
Okay. Any additional objections, Mr. Sonardi?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petrides? Be admitted. Okay.
Publishing state's exhibit number 86, Your Honor. Sir, could you please tell us what exactly we're looking at here?
So in this exhibit, what I did was from Mr. Beals' cell phone, I extracted all of the GPS locations. So the store is storing GPS data in it for a variety of reasons. And I input those GPS locations into a program called CellHawk, which allows us to visualize where the device was for the specific time period. And we're looking at that visualization.
Did you also have an opportunity to review the latitude, longitude points for each one of the responses that came back from that cell phone
Yes.
and include that in your mapping?
Yes.
What is it that we're looking for in state's exhibit number 86 before we press play?
So what we're looking for here is to see if the device traveled to Tampa. And as outlined before we press play in the green box, it's indicative that all of the data analyzed never left outside of that green box.
Would you mind to stand just briefly for this
Sure.
to explain to us where the green box is that you're referring to?
So whenever you put the GPS location data into the program, it's going to create a box around where those GPS data are contained. And as you can see here in the display, the green box is limited to Jacksonville and north of Jacksonville, and there's no GPS locations in his phone that show that it went anywhere near Tampa during that time period.
For the time and date stamps at the bottom right of the green box on the screen that we're seeing, is that something that will move around the video as we see the recording?
Yes, so on the right, you can see the starting time, 6:21, going up to the bottom at 6:24. So what you see is all of the data points tracking within that time period, and you'll see some movement of the device throughout that time period.
Did you have an opportunity to place specific markers on the areas of location of importance for your investigation in Tampa?
Yes, so at the bottom left here, by the red and blue pins, those are all our relevant locations in Tampa, to include the Airbnb that the defendant stayed at and all of the scenes where the victim was trapped at.
Publishing 86. Does the arm to the right indicating the movement that was tracked provide that that device was in the area of Tampa, Florida at any point on June 22nd or June 23rd of 2024?
No, it wasn't.
Did you have an opportunity specifically to look at the image, to look at a close-up of the device location from the relevant dates that you previously indicated?
Yes,
Is that what we're looking at here in slide 2 of 86?
it's correct. So this is just a visualization of what we just watched, however, zoomed in to Jacksonville to where the device was at.
May I just pause it to ask you, each time we see a little flicker with green writing, is that another point at which the device has been geolocated to that location?
Correct. So every time you see a flicker, that's the device through some form of activity registering the GPS location, latitude and longitude of where the device is at that second.
Have you since become aware of what type of structure is at the location that the device was located?
Yes,
What is that?
that is Mr. Darius Beal's homes in Jacksonville.
And did you ultimately learn that there was a mall located in some kind of proximity to Darius Beals' residential address?
Yes, Mr. Beals lived right next to the Orange Park Mall.
Was there a time at which the location data that was coming from this depicting that the device would have been at the Orange Park Mall as well?
Yes, in the afternoon of the 23rd, around 4 p.m.
Did you have an opportunity also to prepare what's depicted here, States Exhibit 86-3?
Yes. So, sorry. So this is instead of the video visualization where you can see the movements, this is just a still photograph of all the GPS points that were plotted for Mr. Beal's phone during the weekend of the 22nd and the 23rd. So every one of those is a hit GPS location of where his phone was at in that specific weekend.
And that includes outside of the time frame that we've seen in the GPS data that we just looked at?
Yes, this is 6/21 to 6/24.
So is there a broader time frame that's included for this particular dot map?
Yes.
And lastly, at 86, is this an example of what the native information that you utilize in creating these maps for us actually looks like?
Yes.
Do you download or input these files in some way?
Yes. So from the cell phone extraction, I would export this data onto an Excel sheet and then load it into CellHawk, and it would register specifically the latitude and longitude to plot those points on a map.
Now, for States Exhibit 147, in addition to the extraction of the location information that we've just seen, you have to see.
Yep.
Did you have an opportunity to analyze the actual content on the device itself?
I did.
And in analyzing that information, what types of evidence were you looking for?
We're looking for evidence of who's possessing the phone at the time, and that could be digital files, whether somebody's taking selfies, or also how they're accessing the phone, whether they're putting in a passcode or whether they're using biometrics like a facial scan to open the phone. All that data would be in the extraction for me to look at.
Looking first to 147B, over the course of June 22nd, June 23rd, and June 24th of 2024, did you have an opportunity to determine whether there were photographs on Darius Beals' device that we just saw tracking for?
Yes, approximately 8 photos that appeared to be selfies found within that weekend, and Mr. Darius Beals is depicted in those photos, and all of those photos had a reference time of throughout that weekend.
On the second page of 147B, are these additional photos from the time frame June 22nd through June 24th?
Yes.
Did some include, for example, if we look at the top of the image that's on the screen now, the second page of 147B, some also included movies or videos, action images?
Correct.
Okay. And is this something that you would have done to further establish the actual possessor of the device, not
Correct.
just the location?
Yes.
Lastly, the third page of 147B, are these the last two photos that were also collected from that specific device
Yes,
within that time frame?
yes,
Specifically of the image on top, 6/23 of 2024 at 12:22 a.m. Has that been adjusted to Eastern Standard Time?
yes,
At 12:22 a.m. was this photograph documented on this particular device?
yes.
In 147A, is this an example if you put just one of those latitude or longitude points into the software we've discussed?
Correct.
And what are we looking at here? What did you put in or plug in?
So specifically, I put in just one hit on the phone from the 23rd, and it was at 2:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it showed that the phone was at the position latitude and longitude, and that specific latitude and longitude is Mr. Darius Beal's home.
When you provide the exhibit or the extraction, such as what we're seeing on the screen, do you have the ability to actually zoom into that pen and look at different locations as well?
Yes.
Lastly, in addition to the photographs, did you search for biometric information on Mr. Beal's device?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what that is?
So this is specifically a log for the June 23rd, so the day of the homicide, starting in the morning and going into the afternoon. And what I found was at least 34 times a biometric feature was used to unlock the phone. This specific phone was an iPhone 11, so the only biometric feature that the iPhone can utilize to unlock it is a facial recognition scan.
Did you go through that process in the entirety of June 23rd of 2024 for Mr. Beals?
Yes.
And is that what we're seeing here, pages 1 through 4 of the biometric information?
Yes, that's starting at 9:41 a.m. and going down in chronological order.
Prior to that, had you seen any entries of unlocking the device?
No,
Prior to 9:41 a.m.?
not by biometrics, no.
At the conclusion of your review of that information from Mr. Beals' device, did you draw your own conclusions regarding the statements that were provided to law enforcement by Rashad Murphy and Davion Murphy during the course of their interviews?
Yes, I did.
Was the device of Darius Beals or any information to support the person of Darius Beals was in Tampa on June 23rd of 2024?
There's no evidence that Mr. Beals or his device were in Tampa on June 23rd, 2024.
I want to move now back to your investigation, if I may. Can you see the screen in front of you? Okay. Can you stop?
Yes.
Right. Did you, as throughout the course of your investigation, having collected the relevant evidence in this case, document essentially a timeline of events between the defendants in this case?
Yes, I did.
First, on the date that each of the defendants had been arrested, what is the process for booking them into custody?
The process, I'm sorry, repeat the question one more
How
time.
are they booked into custody? What happens when they go to the jail?
When they go to the jail, typically what would happen is they would get a booking photograph and their fingerprint scan. So the jail would obtain all identifying information to get them booked into the jail.
Did you have an opportunity to review specific booking photos for each of the defendants seated before you today?
Yes, I did.
And would that include Davion and Rashad Murphy,
Yes,
Sean Gathright,
yes,
and Isaiah Chance?
yes,
Did that also include co-defendant Alicia Andrews?
correct.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit states 98A through D.
Okay, any objection?
No objection?
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petridis? Admitted?
Are these or do these photos fairly and accurately represent the booking photos for each of the defendants that were captured when they were booked into the Hillsborough County Jail?
Yes, I do.
This would have been after transport from the county from which they were arrested in, correct?
Yes, these photos are all from the Hillsborough County Jail.
And speaking about the portions of your investigation where you collected certain types of evidence, were there social media accounts that you wrote search warrants for and subpoenas to?
Yes.
How does that process work?
So typically when we identify a social media account belonging to a suspect that we're investigating, we start off by writing a subpoena to the whoever holds the data for that account. So if it's Instagram, it could be Meta or Google. So we write a subpoena. The company then returns identifying information for that account. And from there, if we develop probable cause, we can write a search warrant in order to get more information or more data, specifically content, messaging, things like that.
Did you have an opportunity to do that for the victim in this case, Charles Jones?
Yes.
When you wrote a subpoena, were you provided with sufficient responses to be able to obtain a search warrant as well?
Yes.
Was that search warrant approved?
Yes.
Did you run that same process for defendants Rashad Murphy, Isaiah Chance, and Sean Gathright?
Yes.
Why did you not run that process for defendant Davion Murphy?
I was unable to locate a Instagram account or social media profile for Mr. Davion Murphy.
And at the time, had you done the same thing for Alicia Andrews?
Yes.
Looking first to the social media account for Julio Foolio or Charles Jones, you already previously testified about having screen recorded the account from the day of the incident. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would obtaining a search warrant allow you to get more information?
Yes.
What kind of information do you get that's more than just your screen recording?
So what we're going to see with a search warrant is all the metadata from the company, which will include things like the location or time and date. Sometimes you get location, sometimes you get content. Specifically, we like to see when if we're referencing a post, the exact date and time down to the second when that post was made, so we can fit it into the timeline, understanding it better.
Were you able to capture posts from both before and after the time of Charles Jones's death?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, the state seeks to admit states 95F, I believe 95A through D have previously been admitted.
Okay, any objection to 95F? Mr. Gonzalez?
95F?
Yes.
Is that going to be just a new exhibit?
Yes, sir. It is not, it is from the incident. It's just the first.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi?
No objection.
Mr. Wise?
Certainly, Judge, said,
Subject to renewal of all previously made objections. Any new objection? No. Mr. Wise, any new objection?
No.
Mr. Petratus, any new objection? Okay, be admitted.
And sir, you previously indicated that you had an opportunity to screen record the victim's Instagram posts from the early morning hours of the homicide.
Correct.
At the time that you completed this screen recording, so in the hours after the murder, did you have the post that occurred 24 hours or more in advance?
I had the post that occurred within 24 hours of me viewing it, not the ones made before that.
Not the ones made before that. Did you know anything or have any information at the time that you viewed this account about what Charles Jones was doing before the posts that were on his social media account?
The only information I had was starting with Friday night, the 21st. Before that, no.
When you received the return from Instagram on the search warrant that was executed for Mr. Jones's records, did you receive stills and the actual video clips like what we're seeing here?
Yes, correct.
And on the stills, for example, of this particular post, I don't even drink this ain't me. This post itself, would you have also had data which gave you date, time, those types of things?
Yes.
Is that something that you don't necessarily get with the screen recording itself?
Correct.
Are those returns in UTC as well?
Yes.
And is this 95A what we'd previously seen as the Airbnb and posts from victim Charles Jones's account before the homicide?
Correct.
Did you have an opportunity? Sorry about that. Did you have an opportunity to write search warrants and obtain returns for Instagram accounts for Rashad Murphy, Sean Gathright, and Isaiah Chance?
Yes.
Under the names of what? Specifically for Rashad Murphy
Ghost 187 with 7 underscores after it.
and for Sean Gathright?
This one's at with the number 5, Andre Chandre.
And lastly, Isaiah Chance.
Yes, double G Guttas 8.
Your Honor, the state seeks at this time to admit states 87A through E.
Okay, other than previously made objections, any new objections, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sonardi?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise?
No.
Mr. Petratus?
No.
Okay, they'll be admitted.
Your Honor, my apologies. 88A through F and 97.
Okay, one more time. 88, A through F, and 97?
Yes, 87, 88, 97.
I'm sorry, wait, 87, 88?
3 total exhibits, Your Honor. 87A through E,
Okay,
88A through F,
okay,
and 97.
97, okay. Any objection to these, Mr. Gonzalez,
Just
other
the
than
one photo.
previously made
No,
objections?
Your Honor.
Account info, but just the one photo.
Mr. Sonardi?
No objection.
Okay, Mr. Wise?
No objection.
Mr. Petratus? These exhibits will be admitted.
you have an opportunity to review the content from the returns on the exhibits that just mentioned
Yes,
from Instagram itself?
yes,
Did you capture the time frame as was charged in the indictment in this case in reviewing that content?
correct.
And did you pull items of potential evidentiary value from your analysis of the evidence that was included in the return from Meta?
Yes.
What specific time frame did you utilize?
Specifically June 1st to June 24th.
Did you have reason to include that specific amount of time or that time frame?
Yes, we had evidence that there was a conspiracy or the things were coming into play even before the weekend of the murder.
Turning now to the actual cell phone records, how do the cell phone records differ from the records that we've just discussed from Instagram?
So the cell phone records are going to be tied to the cellular device and specifically the companies that service those cell phones to provide them a connection. Typically AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, companies like that. Instagram is a social media account, whereas in the cell phone records, they're going to be called detailed records and self-site engagements directly from the cell phone provider.
Do you get additional information, call logs, subscriber information on the returns from cell phone records?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to obtain the cell phone records with the information that you just testified to for each of the defendants in this case?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit states 75A through D, 101A, 73A through D, 72A through D, and 71A through D.
All right, other than previously made objections, any new objections, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sinardi?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petrides? Okay, admitted.
And lastly, Detective, did you have an opportunity to seek returns from something called iCloud?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what that is?
So iCloud is a kind of a remote storage that Apple uses to store data from your phone if you have an iPhone or an Apple product. If we don't have a physical device to do an extraction from, the next best thing would be to try to get a iCloud backup in case you've backed up your data from that device onto the iCloud.
Are those backups relevant only in relation to the last time the device was backed up?
Correct.
And what types of information are included on those backups?
So it could be a substantial amount or limited. It all depends on what the user has preset. So some people only back up, say, photos or videos. Some people back up the contacts of messaging. So it all depends on what the user has determined they want to back up. But it could be a substantial amount of data that would be found on your phone.
Were you able to obtain a full iCloud return from Davion Murphy's cell phone number?
I got an iCloud backup. It wasn't full though.
How do you know when you review the content of it, whether the device information or the backup itself is full?
There would be missing pieces. So specifically, there was no messaging for the period requested. So that's indicating that that user likely didn't have his iCloud set to backup messaging.
What's the legal basis? Okay, rephrase.
In your review of the cell phone extraction for Davion Murphy that was returned from Apple, did you see any text messages?
No.
Did you see a significant amount of photographs?
Yes.
What about video evidence?
Yes.
And were you able to view subscriber information connected to the return itself?
Yes.
Is there a software that you use to review all of the returns that come back from iCloud?
Correct.
What is that software?
Cellbrite.
And how do you use that when the information comes to you?
So the data comes from Apple, and then that data gets put into Cellbrite. It gets parsed out so that we can view it basically, so that I can conduct a search of the data in a viewable form to see the photos or any other data that's in that iCloud account.
The data that actually is received initially, is it something that's in a readable format for you?
No, it's raw data.
And so is Cellbrite a software that your agency utilizes?
Correct.
Did you do the same for a return from Sean Gathright's device?
Yes.
And from the device of Sean Gathright, were you able to obtain a full extraction?
Not a full one as well.
What about from Isaiah Chance?
I got an account, but not a full one, no.
And lastly, Miss Alicia Andrews?
Same thing.
When you opened the extractions or utilized the software to open these extractions, were you able to view subscriber information?
Yes.
And did you have returns on iCloud accounts that you reviewed specifically for all of the 4 defendants previously mentioned? Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to introduce exhibits 134, 135, 136, 138, 94, and 75.
All right, other than previously made objections,
No new objections, Your Honor.
okay,
No objection.
Mr.
Just a moment.
Sure.
No further objection.
Okay, Mr. Petrides? Okay, All previously made objections are renewed and they will be admitted.
All right, sir, I'd like to start detective with Sean Gathright. Can we do that?
Yes,
His account returns, you indicated you had an iCloud account for Mr. Gathright. Is that correct?
correct.
Did you have a phone number that through the course of your investigation, you were able to confirm belonging to Mr. Gathright?
Yes,
And did you link that phone number to a cell phone provider?
yes,
Did you also link Mr. Gathright to a social media account?
yes,
In reviewing Sean Gathwright's returns from each of those account holders, were you able to confirm an email address or multiple email addresses associated to Mr. Gathright?
yes.
And was there any timing specifically related to the returns that you had for Mr. Gathright having multiple email accounts?
Yes.
What was that significance?
One of those emails accounts was created post-murder.
Was the rock out Sean with double letters at iCloud.com email account utilized in the new device that was located by law enforcement subsequently on a search?
Yes.
The rock out Sean account was?
I'm sorry. One was before, one was after.
Okay, I'm sorry. So the Redman 5 was the after?
Correct.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I apologize if that was confusing. Did you have an opportunity to review the returns from the Instagram?
Yes.
Were there a significant number of items from the Instagram return, starting first with State's Exhibit number 97, that were actually relevant to your investigation?
Yes.
What, if anything, was relevant to your investigation from the Instagram return?
I'm sorry, for Mr. Gathright specifically.
Yes, just gonna start with
Yeah, no, there wasn't much in his Instagram that was relevant.
Were you able to preserve or confirm the email address that was utilized to create that account?
Yes,
And was that same email address utilized in the iCloud records that you reviewed?
correct. So we can see under account identifier, rockoutsean at iCloud.com was an email address that we had in common between his Instagram and his iCloud account.
And still states number 97. Were there any other photographs other than the profile picture depicted or information that were obtained from this particular extraction?
No.
Did you execute then a search warrant for the iCloud records and review the content that was returned with those?
Yes,
For iCloud, if an email address or phone number is registered to more than one account, are you able to obtain more than one account?
correct.
In states 97, 136, and 138, did you obtain multiple returns from Sean Gaathright's iCloud search warrant?
Yes,
When Apple provides you multiple returns, do you have the opportunity to actually go through the content from each one?
yes,
In this particular case, did you review the contents from the rockout Sean at iCloud.com and the Redman 5X at iCloud.com?
correct.
Did you have a physical device with information from the date and time of the homicide to review related to Sean Gathright?
No,
Was this search warrant returned to iCloud the data or information that you obtained or retrieved from that, from the iCloud, whatever had been backed up from the device?
yeah. So specifically, we don't have the physical device, but the data that we're viewing on the iCloud is from that physical device that would have been in his possession during the specific time period.
Were you able to check the date and timestamps to confirm such?
Yes,
And was that related to the iCloud account of Rockout Sean?
yes,
Were you able in the returns to confirm a phone number?
yes,
Was that phone number utilized across other platforms as well?
yes,
Did you cross-reference the phone number for this account?
yes,
And did it match the phone number utilized in this case for Sean Gathright?
correct.
Did this phone number also appear in the cellular records for Mr. Gathright?
Yes.
Did this phone number appear in the cellular records for Mr. Gaathright's co-defendants?
I'm sorry, is communication with him?
Yes.
Yes,
Did you obtain this return in 73B from AT&T for defendant Sean Gathright?
yes,
Were you able to confirm the identifiers for the user of that device in that return?
yeah. So this is from AT&T. Well, for that, when I send them for the subscriber information for that phone number, they sent back a subscriber information so we can identify who that phone number belongs to. Specifically, they put the name as Sean Gathright.
Related to this specific return, did you also get other types of records?
Yes.
Like what?
Call detail records, timing advance, and CDRs with cell sites, so cellular location data.
What is a CDR or a call detail record?
Call detail records will be anytime that you're utilizing the actual network from your device. So AT&T, it specifically mostly text messages and phone calls. So if you dial a phone number or send out a text message and it goes through AT&T's network, it would be registered in call detail records.
What about if you did FaceTime on Wi-Fi?
No, so because like if you did iPhone to iPhone on that would utilize Apple's networks or the internet through Wi-Fi. So that wouldn't be registered on call detail records at all.
Is that the same for iMessaging and text messages?
Correct.
What's the difference in those two?
So again, iMessaging is utilizing Apple's network, so it would not be registered on AT&T's call detail records.
Is there another way within the device that you are able to retrieve or recover iMessages?
Yes. So if we get the iCloud dump or backup, and the messages have been backed up to the cloud, then we would be able to see the messages that way from Apple directly.
Did you have an opportunity to obtain records related to specifically Isaiah Chance?
Yes.
Our Mastermind one-on-one at iCloud, was that related to an Apple return that you received from Apple for Mr. Chance?
Yes.
Did you also receive gutazay42 at Gmail as a return from Apple?
Yes.
Are you able to use email addresses other than iCloud.com when utilizing Apple's iCloud service?
Yes.
Okay, and what happens when you use the iCloud again? Where does the information go when you're using iCloud?
Specifically being stored on Apple's servers remotely.
And you were able to complete a search warrant in the return based on the phone number itself?
When we send the phone number off to the cell phone provider, they let us know what device was being utilized, and because an iPhone was being utilized, that gets us to Apple.
Did you also have account returns for additional items for evidentiary value related to Mr. Chance?
Yes.
What about Gutta double G Gutta Zay or G Gutta Zay? Were those account names utilized in this case on your returns for Isaiah Chance?
Yes.
And lastly, Mr. Rich Off War, was that an account name utilized for Mr. Isaiah Chance on the returns that you obtained?
Yeah, that was, I believe, Cash App for that one. Yes.
And starting first with 87B, did you obtain an extraction from Instagram for G Gutta Zay?
Yes.
Did you review the contents of that extraction?
Yes.
Contained within that extraction were there profile images?
Yes.
Also contained in that extraction, is there identifying information that you're looking for?
Yes. Subscriber information, any email addresses or phone numbers.
In 87A, was that information recoverable from the Instagram return records for Isaiah Chance?
Yes, we got a vanity name, the email address, and a phone number.
Were you able to link this email address to that account based on the return from Apple as well?
Yes.
What about this phone number that's linked to the account as verified? Were you able to identify the phone number that was ending 7534?
Yeah, that was an old phone number for Defendant Isaiah Chance.
Were you able to subpoena records to confirm that that was an old phone number that had been utilized?
No, it was no longer his phone number.
Had you, in the returns from your applications for a search warrant or subpoena to other accounts linked to Isaiah Chance, reviewed that number as an old number that was utilized?
Yes.
Specifically in iCloud, did you have an opportunity to review the contact information or the location information related to Isaiah Chance?
Yes.
Was the number that had been utilized previously by date and time as it was registered with iCloud depicted on the returns?
Yes.
And is that 7534 number that was utilized to create the Instagram?
Correct.
And did that number ultimately change?
Correct.
Did the residential address for those accounts remain the same?
Yes.
In looking at that iCloud account itself, were you able to confirm the address that was returned on the iCloud return as being a legitimate address for Mr. Chance?
It was one of the addresses historically listed under his driver's license information, correct?
And did you obtain the records on the right from another subpoena to Cash App, the image specifically?
That image specifically came from Cash App. Cash App requires a user to upload a picture of their ID.
And was this the ID that was utilized in the Cash App, or at least provided to you from the Cash App return?
Correct.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit State's Exhibit number 93.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise? Okay, Mr. Petratus? Okay, no new objections, it'll be admitted.
And then, sir, did you have an opportunity to review the actual phone record returns for the same individual, Mr. Chance, when the subpoena returns back from AT&T?
Yes.
Was AT&T the provider for the cell phone device or information for Isaiah Chance?
Yes.
And were you able to confirm that information in your review of those records?
Correct.
Were you able to confirm the active number at the time of your homicide is the number depicted ending in 4707 here?
That is correct.
Rashad Murphy, did you have an opportunity to complete the same for Rashad Murphy?
Yes.
With the exception of the cellular device, did you actually obtain a search warrant for the Instagram account linked to Mr. Murphy?
Yes, I did.
And what about the Gmail account itself?
That was a subpoena for subscriber information.
Did you obtain a return on that subpoena?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to review the content on the return from that subpoena?
Yes.
Starting first with the Instagram records at State's Exhibit 88A for this account. Ghost187 official, is that an email address used to make this account?
Correct. So when you set up your Instagram, you don't have to submit too much information. In this specific Instagram account, the only subscriber identifier that they gave us was a vanity name, Ghost187, and then the registration email address, the email address the user used to create the Instagram account.
And I've kind of condensed or tried my best to condense it to a slide, but do you receive a significant
volume of information on your returns from Instagram,
Yes.
the metadata.
Yes.
Do you then go through that information, searching for dates and times that are relevant to your case?
Correct.
Did you do that in this case with Ghost187, the Instagram account?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit State's Exhibit number 108.
No new objections, Your Honor.
Okay, any other than previously made?
But yeah, here's the thing that's funny, Alice. You talking about the email. It's the fact that Gonzalez has been arguing that no one can put this email with Rashad Murphy. No one can associate it with him. First of all, they verified who the email address belongs to. The email address was used to register the Instagram. It's like, come on now. Come on, Gonzalez.
Any objections? Any new objections, Mr. Sonardi?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petrides? Okay, that will be admitted.
Did you have an opportunity at this point to review the screen recording from the account Ghost187 on Instagram?
Yes.
And could you see any identifiable markers at that point?
No.
No photos or pictures that identified the account holder?
No.
What steps did you take when you actually received this Instagram return to identify the account holder's information?
Being that all we had was a registration email, since it was a Gmail, what I did is I subpoenaed Google to have them give me subscriber information on that Gmail to see who the owner of that Gmail was in an attempt to identify the owner of this Instagram account.
When you reviewed the screen recording or looked at the account itself, was there a legal or recognizable name that was utilized in the profile that you could potentially search?
No.
Was a name listed on there?
No.
On the profile itself, in the descriptor area, was there a name or words listed?
I'm sorry, for Instagram or Gmail?
Yes, for Instagram.
No. I'm sorry, you gotta rephrase the question.
On the Instagram account itself, the screen recording that you received from Detective Drabek
Yes.
of Ghost187's account after the homicide.
Correct.
You with me?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
No, that's okay. In the descriptor location under the profile picture,
Yes,
was there some paragraph about a descriptor?
yes, there is.
Were there names or words written in that descriptor paragraph?
Yes, correct.
Were there any legal government names or identifiable persons that you could find in the course of your investigation that were listed there?
I believe so.
A name of an individual?
Not a legal name, no.
Okay.
There was a name in there, but it wasn't a legal name that I could attribute to anybody.
You actually searched for it, is I guess my ultimate point.
Yes, correct.
When you obtained the returns and State's Exhibit number 108 from Google, were you able to look at the proprietary information for the billing info on the account that we've discussed?
Yes.
Ghost187official@gmail.
Yes,
Is this the account that was utilized to create the Ghost187 Instagram account?
correct.
And what information was of significance to you on the Google returns?
So because of the use of different kinds of names that might not be legal names or might be aliases, I focused in on the Google Pay information that was attached to that Gmail because you can't utilize a fake name or an alias or not a real name, specifically when it comes to Google Pay. And the Google Pay account linked to that Gmail had the person's real name, which was listed in the return as Rashad Murphy.
The Google Pay information also includes additional information as well.
Correct.
So did you have an opportunity to review it in its entirety for the financial institution types or the card numbers, that kind of thing?
I reviewed their return, yes.
And in your review of the return from Google, were you able to determine who that email account was registered to?
Yes,
Who was that?
Rashad Murphy.
And lastly, for Mr. Davion Murphy, were you able to confirm the phone number associated to that account?
Correct.
Was 108 admitted?
I believe so, 108.
It wasn't.
that again?
She did ask, but hasn't been admitted yet.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay, any objection to 108, Mr. Gonzalez?
No new objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi?
No objection.
Okay, Mr. Wise? Mr. Petrides? Admitted.
Did you do the same with Mr. Davion Murphy's information?
Correct.
How did you come to gain the information for his assigned phone number?
That specific number showed up in Rashad Murphy's CDR records.
The call detail records.
Correct.
So you had reviewed the returns from the cell phone providers,
Yes.
and what did you do, or what were you looking at specifically in reviewing those returns?
I was looking for phone calls that they would have made during the relevant time periods, and I found this phone number and ran it in the system, and it came back to Davion Murphy.
Had you had other information, or were you developing other information at that time based on the course of your investigation that also made Mr. Murphy a suspect in your case?
Yes, specifically a photograph from Rashad Murphy's device that had a picture of his ID in it.
Did you also have the data or download from the Ring camera at the Airbnb location?
Correct.
Did you obtain a subpoena for the records from T-Mobile?
Yes.
And did you ultimately seek a return from the records for T-Mobile for the device assigned to Davion Murphy?
Yes.
Was an email address also provided for Davion Murphy?
Correct.
The state would seek to admit, if not previously admitted, State's Exhibit number 135 4. I think it should be in.
State, excuse me, Mr. Gonzalez, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sonardi?
No objection.
And Mr. Wise? Mr. Petridis? Okay, that will be admitted. And just so you know, I told the jury 6, we're gonna go to 6:15, and then that's it for today. Okay?
Will you just yell, Your Honor?
I shall.
Thank you. Did you have an opportunity to review the records that were provided in State's Exhibit 134B, the return from T-Mobile?
Yes,
Publishing 134B, is this the subscriber information page that T-Mobile had provided to you?
correct.
Were you able to establish a relationship between the defendant and an individual by the name of Serena Beeks? Or was there some relationship between the two?
Family,
And the subscriber name, did it reflect Davion Murphy?
no.
Throughout the course of your investigation or speaking with other law enforcement officers, did you determine or were you able to learn of the significance of the subscriber name utilized to create this account?
Yeah, specifically Suge and Spaz are nicknames to people who died in the war.
Did you have an opportunity to obtain an iCloud return as well for the email address that was utilized to create the accounts?
Yes,
And was that Davion Murphy 44 at Gmail?
correct.
I'm going to publish states 134, excuse me. B, is the return also able to give you any additional information regarding subscriber information?
Yes,
Was there a different name utilized in 134 B for the return from iCloud for the subscriber?
yeah, it appears to be another fake name, Koopa Cutway.
Did you have an opportunity to observe whether the email account that was utilized for both the cell phone and the iCloud return were the same?
Yes, Davion Murphy 44@gmail.com.
And was the number utilized to register both also the same?
Correct.
Throughout the course of your investigation, was the number ending 3137 attributed to defendant Davion Murphy?
Yes, that is correct.
Your Honor, I believe the next portion is actually when we actually dig into the timeline, so it may be a better time to stop. Sure.
Okay. All right, very good. So members of the jury, we're gonna have our evening recess. We will reconvene at tomorrow at 9 a.m. Just remember my previous instruction, you're not to discuss anything about the case with anyone, read, watch, listen to the news or social media posts, and you're not to do any independent investigation. So just so you
We are done with day 7. I'm going to stop this stream and make another one so I can start day 8 because we're going to get more into the social media stuff. So I'm going to hop off here, y'all, and I'm about to start the new stream. See y'all in a minute.